Perhaps it was necessary that Kyoka lose the battle, or both battles actually, in order to win the war. And perhaps it was necessary to have Miyo lose confidence in herself and her relationship with Kyoka before she was able to realize what she gave up and make her go after what she wanted the most. I don't know. Personally, I hated seeing Kyoka lose to Arata, and I hated how Miyo didn't stand up for herself. But narratively speaking, this setback only helped them to move forward and embrace a happy life together. And I hope that this time it is for good and for keeps. We only have one episode left after all. After their argument, a desperate Kyoka takes Miyo to visit the Usubas so he can get to the bottom of things and find out once and for all how to help Miyo with her reoccurring nightmares. There he's greeted by Miyo's cousin Arata and their grandfather. Going into the house, the Usubas demand that Kyoka give Miyo back, but Kyoka refuses. Miyo wilts when they ask her point blank what she thinks, and this leads the men to fight a duel over her. After an impressive display of powers, Kyoka unfortunately loses as Arata pulls a cheap trick. With that, Kyoka and Miyo are separated. A defeated Kyoka is scolded by Hazuki, and after she talks sense to him, he decides to win Miyo back no matter what. That is, as soon as he deals with the worsening grotesquerie situation, which is grave indeed and puts him in danger. Meanwhile, Miyo spends her days listlessly in the Usuba house, where she learns the nature of her gift. Then, when she touches the cherry tree, she learns how and why her mother sealed Miyo's power away to protect her from being exploited by the Saimori. There, Miyo comes to a better understanding of what family means. She also reclaims her power through the magical tree. Soon after this, Arata brings news that Kyoka was brought down during one of the anti-grotesquerie missions. Miyo wants to run off and be with him, but Arata stops her, saying that it's not just her family that wants to keep her and Kuro away, but it is also the will of the Emperor, and defying him will result in grave punishment. Still, Grandfather Usuba gives them their blessing, and Arata rushes Miyo to Kyoka's side, where he is unconscious. Miyo is sad, but Arata explains that there is a way where she might be able to help if she's willing. You guys, I knew it. I called it, you guys. I knew the tree was magical and that the tree was the key to all of this. Oddly enough, though, here's where I feel the anime and the novel diverge the most. In my reading of this volume, yes, I had to finish it all. I couldn't help it. So in volume 2, there is no magic tree whatsoever. There's no tree that lights up when Miyo touches it and gives Miyo visions. There's nothing of that. The tree is not the key to helping her unlock her power. However, it was a neat addition that only improves upon the story, where a lot of this information that she learned through the visions that she got from the tree was basically a bit of info dump, and in this medium we actually appreciate more of a show rather than tell situation, so it worked. Overall, I love these anime-only scenes, from the flashback to Miyo and Sumi's past, and the scene where Miyo unseals her gift. They were wonderful scenes that just fit in so well with the story. And they added an additional dramatic flair that I absolutely enjoyed. Also, I appreciated how when the grandfather was talking about the circumstances that led to Sumi marrying into the Saimori house, the anime added additional dialogue when showing the flashbacks and let us see how life was for Sumi in her new house and how sad it was for her to be so dehumanized. The Saimoris were pressuring her to have more children in spite of the fact that she was already in poor health. Also, baby Miyo, so adorable. It was so heartwarming to see her being doted on and loved. Yet it's tragic how Sumi, in her maternal concern, was driven to such an extreme measure as to seal Miyo's gift away. There were other small scenes that were anime only, but I suppose the ones that stand out are the ones where Kyoka and his men are fighting the grotesqueries. Just when they thought they had vanquished them all, one managed to bring down Kyoka as he saved Godo from its attack. I just knew it. I absolutely knew it, and I called it when I was watching this, that they were celebrating too early. Ah, my poor gallant commander, risking it all to save his subordinate. Please, Miyo, run to save your man. In episode 10, they just pull up to the Usuba house, whereas in the light novel and the manga, they arrive there via the Tsuruki trading company when they go see Arata. One thing that I felt was not 100% clear in the anime was the curious detail of how all of those born with dream sight, like Miyo, have a mother whose ability is telepathy. And this is always the case. That is why Sumi was so zealously sought after and so fiercely protected by her father. Her child would be 100% guaranteed to have the most powerful of Usuba gifts that could rival the Emperor's own divine revelation. When Miyo hears about how Sumi sealed her gift away, she feels conflicted about it. She's almost angry that her mother did this to her and then left her alone to face so many hardships and tribulations. In fact, the Usubas admit that they always looked into her, and every time it was confirmed, she had no gift. Yet, if they were investigating, they surely knew just how bad her life was, but how could they wash their hands off of the affair? It is unforgivable in my opinion. Miyo is 100% right to be upset. And Kyoka darling, you might not be able to fix her problems, but gosh darn, your love and authentic care and concern for her and her well-being will definitely make up for it and make it all worthwhile. Anyway, as to the duel, it largely went the same way in the anime as in both the light novel and the manga. I really enjoyed how the manga also portrayed it. So much badassery. I must say though that after seeing Kyoka fight in his uniform in the anime, which I'm not gonna lie is really cool, going to the manga and seeing him pull out a sword from somewhere within his traditional Japanese attire was, I don't know, it made me feel all kinds of things, and the scene where Miyo is running to Kyoka had its own amazing feel. Yes, the manga doesn't have Evan Call's amazing soundtrack, we don't get all the colors or the slow motion, but you guys, it was so lovely. And if this wasn't enough, the mangaka added an extra little detail where a weeping Miyo picks up the hair tie she made for Kyoka. And that is the only thing of his that remains behind after he is forced out. Stab me in the heart, why don't you? Also, in the novel, Arata doesn't come bearing the evil tidings that Kyoka was struck down in battle. No, they actually want to hide the news from her, so the only way she learns about this is by quietly eavesdropping on the conversation that her cousin and her grandfather were having. Finally, in the light novel, they rush to Kyoka's house rather than some army hospital room. When Miyo arrives, Godo and Kazushi Tatsuishi are fighting, not just yelling at each other, but having an actual brawl with things crashing around and them wrestling each other because Godo demands that the irresponsible Tatsuishi save Kyoka. But Tatsuishi is unable to do so. Godo mentions that Tatsuishi has not been keeping his end of the deal, and at one point even failed to show up when summoned. Man, I had such high hopes for him. Is he truly a slacker? I'm disappointed. I still hate that the Usubas left Miyo alone and that they abandoned her because she had apparently no gift. But I guess if they are willing to cooperate with Miyo and Kyoka, that's one step toward making amends for having left her to the likes of the Saimoris. From the time she was a child, she could have been living with her maternal relatives, safely, if not happily. Arata, please don't disappoint us. If you're truly going to dedicate your life for Miyo's sake, then do right by her and help her save her man. I cannot wait for the finale. Peeps, I am so ready for it, but I'm also so sad that this wonderful show is nearing its end. Let me know what you thought about these 2 episodes and how you think Miyo will be able to help Kudo. How do you think Dream Sight works? And how do you think that this series will end? With a title like that, it better end happily or I will riot. Also, thank you for your patience. I had some health issues on top of work stuff last week, so I am only now able to get around to making the review for these episodes. I will do my best to get the next one out as scheduled. Until next week, bye bye.